Hello again there, everybody. Going to be doing something very different than what I usually do on the channel. I'm going to be playing some Izzet Prowess today. One of the best ways to know how to beat the enemy is to understand them. So I'm going to be trying to navigate a few games with the very powerful Prowess deck. Not a whole lot has been introduced into this strategy with the Modern Horizons 2 being released recently, but I am trying out 2 copies of Murktide Regent. And the way that I've made room for Murktide Regent is I am playing 1 less Sprite Dragon than would be normal, and I'm playing 18 lands instead of what some people play, which is 19. So we'll see how that works out. We got 3 copies of Opt to help smoothen out our draws. Obviously, Manamorphose, a cantrip, and also Expressive Iteration can do a pretty good job at grinding into the mid game. But obviously, we're hoping to not get to the mid game. We're hoping to kill on turn 4-ish on average. So we'll see how often we can do that. Let's look at the current modern metagame. Again, this is I usually do the 30-day refresh rate, so this is what that is. But Modern Horizons has been out for a little over a week now. Let's look at what it looks like just in the past 7 days. Amulet Titans, Stoneblade Humans, these have been basically a pretty firm top 3. We've got Prowess in at 6th. And here are the remaining of the top 15. Let's just jump into the matches. As soon as my window decides to cooperate. Alright, cool. Actually, I was wondering why the window wasn't cooperating, because I hadn't actually joined the league yet. So let's do that. Not even one Serum Visions in the list. Yeah, I think Opt is probably better in the aggro decks, just because if you draw the Opt and you're like trying to get over the finish line that turn, you want the card that you're selecting that turn. So I think Opt is probably better in an aggro deck, if Opt ever fits into an aggro deck. Work was alright today, Udok. Thanks for asking. Couple meetings, couple problems to solve, but by we I mean I did it, so gotta bring home the dollars. And I did actually update Stream Decker. Let's see if it decided to leave the chat, as it tends to like to do. Cool. I think this might actually be Izzet League number like 2 or 3. I forgot to check. Meetings that should have been emails. There were lots of emails too, but the meetings were not needing to be emails. There were many emails about the meetings. You know how it is. How many fetches did I even put in this deck? 4? 5? That's a number. So our opener is 4 lands, but we have a 1-drop and a couple lava darts. It's not exciting, but I'll keep it. You're in finance, so you know? Yeah. Leyline of Sanctity. Jeez. Well, these lava darts got worse. Sprite Dragon was a good one. I guess we get to lava dart this plant out of the way. I'm assuming this is Amulet, just because just because of the presence of a colony garden. So we've drawn pretty all right so far. This can't be standard Amulet tech, right? Oh, so it's something new. Okay. So this makes 2 treasures, right? Oh, it investigates, so it makes clues. That's cool. But they had nothing else. I wonder if I'm supposed to lava dart this and then in response lava dart it again. I guess lava darting my own thing is kind of the same. I do want to get in for maximum points though, right? I think I'm going to Arid Mesa just to take a land out of the deck. Mountain. Get this out of the way. And then I guess we'll just do it again. Should I even flash one back? Honestly, I've got so many lands. Oh, well, I already killed it. I could always flash back targeting my own thing. It's not going anywhere else. I've got plenty of lands. Guess let's just yield to these already. Do I really want to flash back again? No, there might be like another plant that I need to kill. Let's be happy with the 8 damage here. Not a bad turn. Should be playing Glimpse of Tomorrow. I don't know what that does. I forget. Okay, so does this just make rhinos? Okay, this is what you mean by Glimpse of Tomorrow. Alright, so shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards for the top of your library. Put all non-aura, non-permanent cards revealed this way into the battlefield and do the same for aura, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Alright, so this is exciting. Oh, okay. That's pretty big. I guess that explains why they wanted clues in play. Another Iona. Alright, well, we probably just can't win from this point. We do play Vapor Snag. They can just recast stuff for free, though, is the issue. This has protection from what? Protection from spells that are 1 or more colors. So, I mean, we could Vapor Snag this. And then attack all, but they still just chump take 4. We're short. I guess we could Lava Dart, so we might actually just be live to Vapor Snag. Alright, we're dead. Interesting, interesting. Alright, well, I probably want the Spell Pierces. No artifacts, right? Vapor Snag looks pretty weak. Don't need this. Is Blood Moon any good? Probably not great. They don't do anything graveyard related. It's probably just the Spell Pierces that I want. And then my threats seem like they're not really in trouble of dying, so cutting one's probably fine. I think this is okay. I hope I'm not making any obvious mistakes. Oh, wait a sec so chat can yell at me if I'm being stupid. Didn't see any artifacts. Didn't see any graveyard stuff. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, maybe we keep the snag, just have an out to Iona. It's not non-zero. I think this is probably the best we can do, though. We have no creature. Probably gonna have to mulligan. We've on turn 2 we've got a couple redraws, but if we don't hit anything, we're not really doing much of anything. Yeah, it's not great. Keep. And then I guess we're gonna bin Lava Dart. I could Lava Dart on turn 2 just to get a Stormwing out, which might be what I have to do. If that's the case, I can't really bin another mountain because having 2 lands is going to be so important. I guess I'm going to ditch mutagenic growth. I could keep mutagenic growth, but there's not a target for it. So what I have to do here is, I guess, play a Spire Bluff, end of turn, Lava Dart, next turn, float the mana, sack the mountain. Right? Mulligan to 5 and a Gemstone Cavern. Okay. So I need to Lava Dart. Yep. Ideally, we just hit like a Manamorphose or something. A Bolt. I could Expressive Iteration here, but I think I need to get a threat down. We've got a Bolt and an Islet. I think I'm keeping Bolt. I don't imagine this is dying, but I guess I'm going to want to back up threats. Maybe I bottom both. But I mean, Bolts go upstairs, and they're worth 4 as long as I'm attacking. I think I'm going to keep the Bolt, bottom the Islet, and then say go. So like next turn, maybe I Bolt, attack for 5. That's 11, puts you to 7. Then next turn I can Iteration. I guess it doesn't matter if we're just dead. They suspended a Glimpse for tomorrow. Yep. And then the turn after this one where I'm bolting, I can Expressive Iteration. So put you to 5. I mean, they didn't have the Cascade spell, right? Or else they'd have done it. So we get to Iteration here. If we hit any castable spell, we'll just win. They sacked a clue, and we win. Cool. Alright, so I'm honestly not sure what I'm supposed to change. Still didn't see any artifacts. Still didn't see any graveyard-related shenanigans. I think I'm just gonna resubmit. I mean, I guess Blood Moon really could be a thing. But they do play a few basics, but I mean, it's harder for them to cascade if they don't just have one, right? I mean, the thing is they have so many different cascade spells. I guess Shardless Agent is their best, but what are the odds they've got a basic blue and a basic green? Honestly, like, my threats are just not dying at an alarming rate. So maybe Blood Moon is just reasonable. Should I bring in the other? Is it better than something? Maybe on the draw it's just better than Iteration. Iteration is a good like card advantage type card, but less good here. Especially because like our best card is a counter spell, and having a counter spell for our only on our own turn seems not fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we'll give it a shot. So we've got Opt, Threat. I think I've got a mulligan. 4 lands is a lot of lands. If we just draw another land, we're pretty behind. We also just don't have a 1-drop to pressure early. Like, even if we stick a threat, we don't have a way to grow it, so it's pretty anemic. I think I got a ship. Yeah, I think I'm just keeping and hoping. I'm going to bottom 1. In the event I miss the land, I'm going to really want to put another creature into play. I guess I'm bottoming Dart. And then hoping they don't have Leyline. Okay. Alright, so I'll shock, attack for 1, I guess. We did hit the land immediately, which is nice. At this point, I guess I should fetch, just take the land out of the deck. Get basic mountain. I guess I should Soulscar first, then. Well, probably not, right? Because I'm going to be Sprite Dragoning on turn 2. So that means I want to get the damage in. Let's just get mountain. Yeah, them having Leyline makes these bolts pretty awkward. I guess I could bolt myself. They don't have another land? Okay. Alright, well let's get the Sprite in. Start attacking for more. So they just like have to have it, assuming they draw the lands. Why else would they have capped? I guess maybe on the strength of Leyline. They're getting their F6 value. So we would really like to find a copy of Spell Pierce. That'd be our best case. No. I mean, we can just go threat, and then if they have the combo next turn, maybe we can just push through it. Like, if they have the combo, they have to get rid of the Leyline, right? So then maybe bolts go to face, and we can maybe get around their stuff. I don't know if I should be playing around some kind of sweeper. I think I'm just gonna not, and then hope they don't have it. Yeah, because combo at this point, I can kind of just swarm around it. And I don't know if they play sweepers in the deck, but I'm here to learn, worst case. They found the land. Show me the anger of the gods, or whatever. Uh-huh. They got Iona and still Leyline. Naming red. Brutal. This is all permanents, right? Yeah, them hitting Leyline again was really bad. Oof. Well, I took the Vapor Snags out, right? Yeah, we're on no outs to that. I mean, they just have to play the draw go game forever, right? Am I like actually on no outs? Man, this Leyline Iona was kind of the nuts. I guess Emrakul would have been fantastic too, obviously. Yeah, I guess I take it. Alright, we're done. Yeah, so I guess the thing I learned there is don't take out Vapor Snag, and I guess hope they don't just hit Leyline again with Iona. They only had 4 cards to reveal, right? So that I just needed them to not hit either an Emrakul or Iona and a Leyline. I mean, if they just don't hit the Leyline, I'm probably just fine, because the line was just play as many creatures as possible, right? So no matter if they put one thing in play, I could just swarm around it by bolting them twice. So I think they just kind of hit the nuts on that whatchamacallit, their payoff. Glimpse of Tomorrow. Sounds pretty clunky. I think I'm keeping it. We're pretty high on interaction. We only have one threat, which is a problem. And it's the slower one. But I mean, any one drop's a good draw. Manamorphose is a good draw. I guess we're killing that. There is the one drop, but now they've got the Noble. What does this even mean? Could it be Infect? I'm still kind of wanting to just play the Swift Spear here. I'm losing out on a lot of damage if I don't. Alternatively, I really could just bolt now, and then next turn Swift Spear plus something. But honestly, I'm here to learn. So let's Swift Spear and see what's the worst that can happen. saying it could be a Stoneforge deck. That's true. When I say Breeding Pool Noble, my first thought is immediately Infect. But you are correct. Sword of Fire and Ice. Opt. Alright, well, I believe this turn is going to be Lightning Bolt the Stoneforge, Vapor Snag the Noble. Get in for 3. For 4, with the Vapor Snag counting as 1. There's that again, yeah. Murktide. Well, that's big. So I think what I'm going to do is lead on an Opt. At this point, the opponent already has so much mana. I guess like the worst thing that could happen now with this Hierarch is they get to 5 mana for Batterskull. But if they get to Batterskull, I can snag the Germ. So what I think I'm going to do is lead on the Opt. Because if I can find the land, I get to then play Stormwing. Which seems good. And if I miss it, I can still just hold up Vapor Snag. This is the reason why I like Opt over Serum Visions in aggro decks like this. We found a Bolt. I think I'm bottoming. I still have my 1 mana interaction available, and I think the upside of hitting a land here is really high. Didn't do it though. Alright, we'll attack. I could just Vapor Snag again. I guess we'll see if they want to block. They don't block. So if I Vapor Snag again, they'll go to 11, take 3, go to 8, assuming they don't have like a path or something. But if they have the path, I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, let's do it. And then just hope for no path, or I guess they could do just about anything. Sure. Well, I guess I'm glad they counterspelled that. So next turn at a minimum, I'll get to Murktide. Murktide's a lot worse versus Safari. Manamorphose, that's interesting. So I mean, now I get to Stormwing if I want. You know, I guess I should just lead on it and see what happens. Making blue-red. If I make blue-red and I miss on a land, that means I can no longer Murktide, but I really don't want to get Murktide bounced. I don't want to get Stormwing bounced either. Did hit the land. I'm still thinking I want to just get another threat down here, kind of go around them. They had Counterspell and no actual removal. I mean, playing another threat is just weaker to the Teferi because they'll have a good bounce target, but they always have something to bounce. So I think I'm going to Stormwing. Start smoothing out a few draws. Whoa. I think I'm just keeping those. And then going to the opponent with the Swift Spear. If I go with the Teferi and they don't block, a minus would then kill the Teferi. But I think knowing I've got bolts on top means I want to just go face. Alright, that does not have Death Touch. And I'll remember that the Teferi is in play, so I can't bolt at instant speed. It's gonna be a close one. Alright, there's that as expected. So next turn we can bolt and redeploy. Alright, so Misty means that future Ice Fangs have Death Touch. This brings back Vista, right? And this means that they've got two 5/3s at instant speed. It's pretty bad for me. Sure. Alright, so I mean, if they sacrifice this fetch, they die to 2 bolts. So I can bolt now. Or I guess I could just Murktide now. This thing no longer bounces something. Murktide just kind of fly past everything. If they've got a path or some way to remove it otherwise, I'll feel pretty silly. And I think I should just bolt now, put them low. I mean, this is going to be big, right? 3, 4, 5. I can have it be just a 7/7. Sorry, an 8/8. We'll hope for like no Teferi. If I bolt this, I no longer have second bolts to go to face. I think I'm just gonna play this and then pass, trying to entice them to fetch this. As is, if I can block, so they're gonna have 3 attackers for 5. So I need to be able to deal with 2 of them. I guess if I bolt the Titania and they just put another 5/3 into play, I can still then Stormwing. They don't have an attack. I think that's probably the stronger play. It's just awkward because I can bolt them twice assuming they fetch. And they have to fetch to try to kill me here. I think I have to go for this. The Teferi really makes it awkward. They do know that I have a card on top that I kept. Alright, so we've got a bolt on top. And then hopefully they don't have a way to deal with my Murktide. So assuming they can't get rid of it here, it'll look good. They can't Prismatic ending it. I guess they would have to be Path to Exile or another copy of Teferi. Yeah, I guess like Big Teferi, Little Teferi, Jace the Mind Sculptor. A lot of stuff would do it here. I guess they have one less out with Prismatic ending not being good. I guess Ice Fang Quaddle would be a way that they could defeat this. We can't like bolt it out of the way in response either because Teferi is in play. Well, that's not an answer. I guess they could play sword, equip sword, get an attack in to draw a card. But then it's only Path that would do it. They'd only have 1 mana afterwards. This is an attack for 8 after Exalted. They could shock me down to 3. Assuming this works, we won because of Murktide. We don't have a block, obviously. So we're going to go to, I guess, 2. And then hope for no Path to Exile. Wow. Alright, so Murktide Regent got us there. We would not have won without that Murktide. Flying 8/8. Alright, so we're playing against just Bant stuff. They play a lot of basics. They don't really play many artifacts. Spell Pierce is probably not great. Especially when like a lot of their tricks are Ice Fang and also Teferi exists. Honestly, I don't think I'm bringing anything in. I'm just going to resubmit. Maybe like Bedlam Reveler could be a thing. But it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing a whole lot of killing my stuff. So I don't really think I need to increase threat density. We've got Vapor Snag and some creatures. I think I'm keeping. We've got multiple creatures. We've got a card advantage spell. We've got 1 way to interact. I'm probably just going to Vapor Snag this thing immediately. Just slow them down a turn. It's not ideal. But I mean, while I'm not doing much else. So then next turn I'll intend on casting Sprite Dragon. I guess I could Mutagenic Growth targeting Hierarch now that they've replayed it, and then cast another Stormwing, or then cast Stormwing. Having drawn second Sprite, I think I want to just play a Sprite, because then next turn I could then play a Sprite and Stormwing. Like these are better the earlier you play them, right? Because their counters stay. So I guess my ideal draw here is something like a Mana Morphos or 1 mana spell. I guess Lightning Bolt would be really great. Lava Dart would be fantastic too, maybe even better than Bolt. Not what I'm hoping for. Spell Queller. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I had a lightning bolt here. You know, I'm still going to attack. There's just no way they block, though. It's pretty much only mutagenic growth that blows them out here. Because if I had a bolt, I'd have bolted. Alright. I mean, I guess they could easily have path, which would be a way that their block makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess they were just playing around no lightning bolt. So the next turn we'll get to iteration into Stormwing. Iterationing before I play a land, so if I find a land, I can just play that one. Would not be surprised to just have the opponent with another Spell Queller. Land go is kind of suspicious. I mean, even if they got the Spell Queller, though, these Sprite Dragons are still growing. Okay. And then I could send a bluff attack, but it's so bad for me if they block that I'm just not gonna. But maybe since it's so bad for me if they do block, that's like the perfect way to get the bluff through, right? Maybe it really is worth it just because I have so many backup threats. Ooh, we found Lava Dart. Alright, so let's bottom this. Dart top. That dart equals so much damage. So much damage. Veil of Summer. Okay. I guess I did cast a blue spell. That only defends them versus things like Spell Pierce and Vapor Snag, though, right? It's just those. Shock. So they need 6 mana for something? Okay. Should definitely just take big Sprite Dragon, right? No? They have to have other removal then. Because, like, at this point, this is just strictly better, other than for the consideration of, like, Fatal Push, which they're not playing. So we know Lava Dart's on top. If I just go Dart, Stoneforge, Dart, Stoneforge, attack for a lot, then I get to Stormwing. But I guess that means if they're blocking... Yeah, if they're blocking, this is just great for me. They can't Spell Queller again because they don't have white. Although they did Shock, so they've got to have something that costs 3. Maybe it's Archmage's Charm? I mean, I'll attack first, see if they want to block. It's like, we can't kill the Spell Queller anyway. Then if they don't block, what do? Do I go for the kill Stoneforge play? I think I'm going to try for it. Like, if it doesn't work, we still get to get in a crap ton of damage, and we need a spell to cast Stormwing anyway. If I go face, what happens? They take 10. They take 2, 4, 6, 9, 11. They go to 1. I'm not going to cut them off of mana. They've already got a lot. Let's just go at the Stoneforge. Like, because if they just tap out for a Batter Skull here, they die. Take your hit for 9. Gust. I guess we bottom it. Take 4. Stormwing. We've got land, which can definitely go to the bottom. So mutagenic growth. I think that's a bottom as well. I mean, I guess if they only have one block, that for sure goes here. They like they already on board have to block next turn unless they're, because like they died at any spell, right? The mutagenic growth is kind of just the worst spell. I guess they only have one card left. I'm gonna bottom. Could definitely be wrong though. I think like pretty much anything is better than that. Like a creature is better than that. Any spell is better than that. So, I mean, I guess like Lightning Bolt would be the best case. Deal. Yeah, I'm still not sure that it's correct to leave the mutagenic growth on top. Because like we know they've got Batter Skull, right? So if we just draw a land, if we draw a land in that spot, we attack both. We get to cast Expressive Iteration for free though. So I mean, yeah, I think it is probably right to bottom that because they tapped out, right? So the way their blocks put them, we're looking at the top 3 cards for free and basically drawing a bunch. It would be after damage. So I wouldn't be able to get any extra damage in via the spells unless, except for the damage just going to face. Like they wouldn't count for prowess triggers is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we've got turn 2 Stormwing. I'll go Scalding Tarn first, get a Steam Vents. No 1-drop is kind of unfortunate, but I mean we've got Stormwing plus Lightning Bolt protection. It's like we can Stormwing on 2 and then turn 3 we get to Sprite Dragon plus mutagenic growth. This hand would be nutty if one of these lands was like a Soul Scar or a Swift Spear. Ragavan went to 100 ticks? Jeez. It's a lot of ticks. 3rd Misty Rainforest deck. Elves? Well, I don't know off the top of my head if Elves is a good matchup, but I imagine that Lava Dart makes it really good. Let's go Stormwing. And then look for burn spells. There's the Lava Dart. Oh, wow. So I guess I'm going to go Dart on top, Manamorphose on top, because we're just going to Manamorphose into the Dart. Go. I guess maybe this is wrong because I do want to play the Sprite Dragon. I can't Morphose into the Sprite Dragon. Well, I guess I can. Alright, so this is a Lord. I mean, we can still just Lava Dart down the Archdruid. So the plan here is Manamorphose, draw Lava Dart, play Mountain, Lava Dart this twice after playing Sprite Dragon. Seems like a good turn. So this will make blue red. Blue, red. Then we get to play Sprite Dragon. Then we get to play Mountain. Then we go Dart. Dart. So if I Mutagenic Growth here, that's 4, 10, 13. Is there any reason to wait so that way I have the other Sprite Dragon into play? So like if I just put them to 13, if I just do this, that's 4, 10, 13, put you to 6. We still just have lethal next turn in play, so I think Mutagenic Growthing now is probably better. Cause like they're dead next turn just to the onboards. So, like, if they just play a bunch of elves, they know they're dead. Maybe that would be the reason to not do this, because maybe I want to allow them to think they've got another turn to set up. When I could just surprise them with lethal next turn. So, yeah, maybe that's a mistake. I think I want the Kozilek's returns for sure. Spell Pierces, no. Blood Moons, no. I guess a Braid would be the next, maybe. I guess Vapor Snag could be a thing as well. All of their spells are so cheap, though, with the exception of Lords. I think Snag might just be better than a Braid. And again, this is a matchup where I don't really see my creatures dying super often, so maybe we just don't need these extra threats. So, for sure bringing in the returns, and I think these are the maybes. I mean, my threats really aren't dying, so I could see just cutting a couple. I think Soul Scar is probably better than Swift Spear because we could still kill various things with damage through Regenerate shields if we just put minus counters on them. And Regenerate doesn't really matter versus that, right? So maybe I cut like a Swift Spear for a Snag. I don't know. A Braid just seems like it's got to be good. What would I cut though? Can't be Dart, can't be Bolt. I think it's probably reasonable just to cut a couple of creatures. I don't want to cut the flyers because they don't have flying. Like they can gum up the ground pretty well. So maybe I just cut like another Swift Spear, and maybe not like dilute my deck too much. Like this isn't the kind of deck where like Vapor Snagging one thing is going to be super impactful. I think maybe I should just not bring in the other snags. I also don't want to dilute my deck too much. Let's give that a go. So we've got turn 1 Opt, we can Abrade. Is this fast enough? Iteration's just one of my slowest cards, and we're on the draw. I think this is a mulligan. No 1-drop or 1-drop interaction. Some slow stuff. Yeah, I'm going to ship. This is a lot better. Keep. Not bottoming these. I guess it's just another Mutagenic Growth. Done. And then just about any X1 I'll lead on Lava Dart. That counts. Another land is a good find. Maybe that means I can just get basic Mountain here. case my life total becomes relevant. Sure. They didn't have another land? Jeez. Well, I guess that gives me an incentive to kill this. I could bolt it. I think I want to save the Lava Dart as a free spell later. Especially when I'm still trying to establish my own mana. Let's just bolt it. Then play a Soul Scar. So far so good. They've got a pretty slow one. They found the land. How lucky. Sylvan Anthem. Other creatures. Green creatures got +1/+1. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield, scry 1. So I guess this is the anti-Lava Dart tech. And it's punishing me for having used the bolt. Sprite Dragon's a nice one, though. Now that Lava Dart isn't really killing anything any longer, should I just use it to go to face state and the extra damage now? I kind of like it, because it really doesn't kill anything anymore, right? So it's not getting much better. And then, for the same reason, I think I want to push with Mutagenic Growth. Like, we're not really protecting from anything. Mutagenic Growth is in the deck to steal games at this point. Maybe I should have taken Mutagenic out. It would still give minus counters with Soul Scar. That is true. Sure. So they'll get to scry. But I mean, they're already, I guess, any spell means they're in chump block mode. We get a redraw as well. Oh, wow. Okay, well, for still leading here, right? I'll make blue-red. Oh. Does that have them just dead no matter what? Yes, right, because they take 2, go to 6, then just take 4 in the air. Oh, we actually don't have a mountain to sacrifice. It does put them in chump block mode. But I think it's probably just better to get the Stormwing in. Because we don't have the mountain to sack. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, Kozilek's Return doesn't actually do it for sure because of the Anthem. It's still probably good to keep, but we actually don't even have the land. So let's just bottom. Bottom. That's not a mountain to flash back with Dart. Get in for 4. We've got 2 lethal flyers next turn. Like, this still seems like a pretty advantageous position. Because, like, if they're dealing with my stuff, they're not actually putting anything into play. We've still just got an interactive spell and other creatures left over. Watch me try to kill a million Stormwings. It's fun to watch me cast one instead. Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really cool card. I think it would be more balanced if it cost 3 when it were cheaper. I'm not sure that it would be good enough if that were the case, but that's why I wish it would cost 3. Because the card's very good as it is. Although I think it's probably the least of the issues in the format, so I'm not going to complain too deeply. The benefit of this deck, though, is the leagues are going by quickly. I mean, I'm only 1 league. This is the first league with it. We're 3 matches deep. Not even an hour into the video. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a couple leagues with this. I'm really trying to learn it. I do think the deck is probably just one of the best decks in the format, as it has been for a while. I don't really think Modern Horizons changed that. It didn't get any, like, ridiculous new toys, but Murktide's pretty cute. We did win a game because of Murktide a little bit earlier. They were unable to, like, Prismatic ending it or Skyclave it. Right now we have to kill 4 different Urza lands. That's true. You know, that last round was 5 minutes. Also true. I mean, this deck's real fun. It definitely has those really nutty, close to unbeatable draws. Why no DRC? I don't know what that acronym is. Let me think. Oh yeah, I don't know what that acronym is. This hand's got to be a mulligan, right? Oh, the Dragon's Rage Channeler? Yeah. So, I actually had this discussion with friends in a group chat earlier. So like to make the Channeler work, I feel like you also have to fit in Mishra's Bauble. So like the slots in this deck are already pretty I guess occupied. What I mean by that is like the deck's already super lean. Like you're playing 16 threats. You're playing basically 4 ups of Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, Manamorphose. You have to play at least 3 Mutagenic Growth. You have to play a couple 1-mana cantrips. So like there's only so much you could fit. And like if you're bringing in Dragon Rage Channeler, you also have to devote 4 slots to Mishra's Bauble, and there just isn't that kind of room. And also like threat density just isn't really a problem that the deck has had. Okay, so we're playing against Enchantress. Let's opt. No thanks. Alright, get a threat in. I'm no prowess expert. I've only ever played against it a crap ton. But I even against Jund, which is like the removal deck, it seems like the prowess side has just never had an issue finding threats. You've seen Luris versions without Stormwing? Yeah, that seems about right. Ghostly Prison is really strong versus us. I guess I'm gonna bolt and then play a Stormwing, and then I can't even attack. Hopefully these things just grow large enough to the point where I don't really need to attack with many creatures. I can just kind of attack with the ones in play and use my turn to spend mana. Lava Dart's good though. Let's probably keep that one. Bottom this one. Then I can't attack because I've got to pay. What's Vapor Snag for? It's for shadows and Tarmogoyfs mainly. It's like when you really need something to push through on the ground, like a snag can get you out of a lot of spots. Most of the lists out of Prowess that I've been seeing do well, I've been playing at least 2. So that adds lots of mana. So that's got Shroud. So if I Expressive Iteration, I get to attack with 1 thing. So I think I should still just do that, unfortunately. The thing that I exile, I won't actually be able to cast unless I find the land and can just play the land. My things aren't quite big enough to warrant an attack yet. I think what I'm going to do is just Iteration. And then if this... Ideally, this hits a land, so I could play it. I guess not Spire Bluff. Oh, wow. Mutagenic is kind of perfect, isn't it? Because it's a 0-mana way to push damage. Because my mana is actually pretty tied up due to the prisons. So, put one of them into my hand, this one. Put one of them onto the bottom, this one. Then put one of them into exile, this one. Then I'll play this one. So I only get to attack with 1 thing here. I think I'm saving the Mutagenic Growth for next turn. Because like next turn I get to attack all and then Lava Dart and Mutagenic Growth to try to get in for the kill. I mean, they're going to have a lot of mana this turn. They could also sack this to reveal something and put it on top. So if they get another Ghostly Prison, that could be bad. And I have to fetch first. Because if I go to attack and then try to pay and I don't have the land that makes mana, I'm screwed. So I guess for now, Stormwing is bigger. So we'll get in with that. And then is it worth it to mutagenic now? Assuming I get to attack with both of my things next turn, it's not better to mutagenic now. I don't think they're going to play more than one Ghostly Prison type effect. So I'm not going to do it. I also want them to think they've got more time than they've actually got. They don't play Bauble and Legacy, but they're still jamming the Channeler. It's probably better than Soulscar. Like one of the cool things about Soulscar and why it's been good in the past is like when Shadow is super prevalent, you could put minus counters on their Shadows and their Anglers and their Scourges and their Glyphs. But now that Shadow is kind of on the downtick, maybe Channeler is better. It's worth a consideration at least. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how reliably the Delirium will go online, but I mean, their Surveil is pretty nice. But yeah, I think it'd be worth giving it a shot. No Soulscar, just play the Channeler instead. It's like raw power wise, it's better. Yeah, I mean, assuming you can get it online, and honestly, it might not be that hard. Like you probably play a few extra fetch lands, so you get land in the yard. Maybe that version is a crash through version, just so you can get sorcery in the yard more easily. Although the actual sorcery aspect, the actual crash through like trample aspect of it seems less important when 12 of your 16 threats have flying. So this is draw a card whenever you cast an aura spell. Yep. Member of the tribe? I'm not sure what you're referring to. So at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice solitary confinement unless you discard a card. Skip your draw step. You have Shroud. Prevent all damage that we dealt to you. That's a problem. So I mean, as long as they don't just flood out on auras. Because remember, every aura they draw, every aura they cast is drawing a card. So we're going to have to hope that they just don't draw auras. I guess the moment they draw two non-auras, they kind of just stop. So we're gonna have to hope that they eventually just stop drawing auras. Is there anything I could draw now? I guess if I find a creature, I'm gonna want to get it into play. So we'll sack this now. Oh wow, that's a creature. We get to cast it right now too, making it a 6/6. I mean, damage is already being prevented, so I might as well just do this. Exiling all the spells. I guess one extra for free. I don't really see a reason to keep up Lava Dart. If I find another Murktide, maybe I want to delve. Also a cute thing. If I ever sack a mountain to flashback Lava Dart, this gets bigger by 1. So we want to make sure that they don't find another way to... We were hoping that they don't just draw auras. I guess they could sack it too. That makes sense. So Murktide is just lethal on its own, but they don't know that. We've got a mutagenic growth and a Lava Dart. We get in for 11. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that could happen. Are we just lethal with a Stormwing? We're short, right? This is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we're actually exactly lethal with either threat here. I guess we can just yield pretty freely. Yeah, I mean, we get to cast all of our spells next turn, and any one is lethal, assuming we dart twice to the face. I guess that's not true. We dart twice to the face, they go to 8. Then if they can somehow deal with the Stormwing, Murktide gets in for 6, puts them to 2, and then any burn would kill them. Yeah, they're getting low on mana. I don't imagine they actually have a whole lot of red things in the deck. I guess it does, I guess like their mountains still cast their colorless requirements. Ice is bad for me. Although they're out of anything but red mana. I mean, Stormwing is still just lethal. Unless they do something that I'm not expecting. Alright, so it looks like maybe we get to kill them. Not that we needed another mutagenic growth. Alright, so let's go to attack. Say yes. So this puts them to 1. And then I guess I just let this happen. And then I can lava dart them. They're not like shrouded or anything, right? I guess it's kind of free. Yeah, they're not shrouded, but let's do this, whatever. They have only red mana here. They'd have to have like one of the new cycles of free stuff. Yeah. Alright, so auras. I guess Spell Pierce could be a thing. They don't have anything graveyard related. I guess Vapor Snag is not the greatest here. It's good at bouncing the whatchamacallit, but we're not really wanting to do that a lot. The mana producer, but all of our other burn spells kind of already do that. And then I'm thinking Spell Pierce is just better than just like another Murktide, because again, this is a matchup where they're not really killing our stuff. So I expect each individual threat to be pretty good on its own. So yeah, maybe after this league I try out in the place of Soulscar, the Dragon Rage channeler, and then I just find a way to fit Bobble into here too. It's not like far-fetched that we don't actually need Bobble to achieve Delirium. We would definitely need at least 2 more fetches though to more reliably get land into the yard. So this hand is iffy. I guess we have a way to deal with their mana creator. We can turn 2 Sprite Dragon. Turn 3 we can Mutagenic Growth Sprite Dragon and then cast Stormwing. So I mean we have clocks. If I'm mulliganing though, I just don't know what I'd be looking for. I guess I'd be looking for a 1-drop, but this hand is already pretty playable short of a Spell Pierce. I think I'm keeping. They did mulligan. This colorless deck's 2 colors away from John. That is accurate. Alright, so if they have the if they have any 1-mana accelerant, I'm for sure killing it. I guess Utopia Sprawl I can't quite. Alright, that does not ramp them, so that's fine. Isn't their mana producer cost 2 anyway? So hopefully they have that and I get to bolt it. Sure. So is it possible that I should use one of these mutagenic growths now? I think I need to save a mutagenic growth for next turn. So that I get to cast Stormwing for free. But I mean, using mutagenic now gets it an extra damage, right? Because it'll have an extra counter for next turn's attack, and it'll get the counter for this turn's attack too. So I think I am using one. And then ideally I find, I guess, a land next turn, so I can also play Bolt if I need to. Yeah, their only real removal is on Thin Ice. I guess if they have on Thin Ice, I won't actually have a mutagenic growth target. So I would actually need a land for the Bolt. If I don't hit the land, then I guess I'm just using the turn to cast Expressive Iteration and hope the top 3 has a land for me. So this is whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain a life and draw a card. Yeah. So now I would really love a land because I want to bolt that thing. Oh crap, they have the On Thin Ice too. Did hit it. That's pretty big. So I guess this is just Lightning Bolt on the Sithis, and then cast a Stormwing. Ooh, don't think I want those. Card's good. They have so many different draw card effects now. It's pretty cool. So hoping for no On Thin Ice. If they do have it, at least we can continue digging. It's another Sithis. Brutal. Can you do something good with 2 mana? Not yet. It's more iterations. Alright, well, I'm leading on this one. Ooh. Yikes. I can't really do any of this. I guess I'm putting Spell Pierce to hand and exiling Spirebluff Canal. I mean, if they do find another copy of On Thin Ice, I'm gonna need a backup threat. The issue is I think Spell Pierce is gonna be pretty good here. They're getting into the realm of lots of mana, so maybe Spell Pierce just isn't good anymore. I for sure need to be able to have this land though. So then what am I putting into hand between Spell Pierce and Stormwing? I'm assuming they don't have the On Thin Ice, because if they had it, they'd have done it. So I'm thinking I want to just keep the Spell Pierce. It's risky in that if they find your removal spell, it's worse for me. Alright, so put one into my hand. Spell Pierce. Put one onto the bottom. Stormwing. Put one into exile. Spire Bluff. Land. Get in for 4. I mean, I guess I could just use Mutagenic Growth now, too. That gets in for a total of 7, puts you to 7, but they're gaining life off of stuff. Don't think I'm using it yet. Like, if they put down a, if they put down a Ghostly Prison again, I may need it to push damage when I can only attack with one thing. So I mean, next turn is gonna start with an iteration again. Leyline. Yeah. Burn spells got worse, but they were already probably going at the Harvester anyway. Or Harvest's Hand. Attack. You know you're not blocking. Where the Jund at? It's in the trade binder. Not really. What's up? You're not blocking. You should probably attack. Okay, let's lead on iteration. See how far that gets us. So I'm at 4 power right now. Each mutagenic growth represents 3. So that's 10. So I can just kill them here, right? Because I could put Islet into exile. I guess put Sprite Dragon into hand. And then I get to play the Islet. I get to Expressive Iteration again. And then I can mutagenic growth, have Spell Pierce backup. Put 1 into my hand, Sprite Dragon. Put 1 into the bottom, Swift Spear. 1 into exile. Play an Islet. Iteration again. Right? This sets up to 5 plus 6 is 11. I guess if they cast an aura spell, I guess we'll just Spell Pierce it, and that's another damage because of prowess anyway. Oh, I for some reason thought that I was resolving a bunch of scrying. So let's keep, I guess, now that we've got a backup threat, we can bottom Swift Spear, keep Manamorphose. Oh, I'm just completely stupid. Never mind. Ignore me. I mean, we're killing them now anyway, so it hardly feels like it matters, but I should probably read what my cards do, or at least what the windows are prompting me to do. But yeah, we've got them dead. I guess I should let this resolve. So yeah, if they play an aura somehow and gain a life, I just Spell Pierce literally anything. Cool. You're asking if I could play Dragon? So I mean, if I play Dragon, you're talking about like instead of an iteration? I didn't have access to the Dragon yet. Oh, I might have said that I would play it, but in my actual head, my thoughts did not say to play it. So if I said that wrong, sorry. But no, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just don't have a window to cast the Dragon because I found Dragon off of second iteration. I only had 1 mana after that. So we're 3-1. Losing to only a pretty nutty reveal off of the whatchamacallit. The I'm scrolling back up in chat so I can remember the name. Glimpse of Tomorrow. Only losing to a nutty Glimpse of Tomorrow. They glimpsed with 4 things in play. Hit Iona and a Leyline. Like, even if they just didn't hit Leyline, I think we kill them. And if they don't hit If they hit Iona by itself, that's still probably just good enough, to be honest. So we couldn't bolt them with Iona in play anyway. And I had also taken out my Vapor Snag, so I was on a 0 outer. So I mean, I made sideboarding errors, and they got lucky. So I mean, this deck still feels really powerful. Like, our opponents have interacted with us in meaningful ways. They've taxed our attacks. They've unsummoned our creatures. They've just exiled our stuff with various exile effects, be it Prismatic Ending or Onthanize, and it just hasn't mattered. And Murktide has felt pretty fine. Like, I've played it twice, and it's been good both times that I've played it. It's never just been clunky in hand. And I feel like the first couple copies do have some merit. And as I say that, here's the Murktide in a clunky hand. I don't think I can keep. We just don't have a quick threat. And if removal is bad, like, our burn spells don't do anything either. Similar hands to last, but this one has a few cheaper cantrips. I think I'm just going to bottom a land here, probably a Fiery Islet. We really want to draw like a Swift Spear or a Soul Scar. Just another dart. Alright. Well, I mean, Vial means that our burn spells will at least be good. Merfolk. Okay. There's Murktide. I think I'm just going to lead on Manamorphose, make blue-red. If I draw Stormwing, it'll be great. This means I'm not holding up burn spells, though, and maybe I'm actually just more interested in holding up burn spells. Yeah, I think I'm more interested in holding up burn spells. Not exactly how I would imagine Prowess functions, but here we are. Yeah. I think I still want to just kill a Lord. They can't flash in 2 Lords to protect this. So this is can't be countered 3/4. It is indestructible as long as you control at least 2 other merfolk. When it attacks, draw a card. And then other merfolk you control have ward 1. So I have to respond to this to kill the trickster. I guess I have to, right? Or else this would just counter. And this is problematic. There's the Soul Scar. This is only other merfolk, right? Other merfolk have ward 1. I guess I'll lead on Manamorphose, see if I can find a land. I could iteration, and then if I hit a land, I still get to play the Soul Scar. Yeah, I think I'm just going to iteration and then hope there's a land on top. Maybe they think I'm Blue Moon or something. There isn't a land on top? Jeez. I think I'm just going to scoop, to be honest. There's almost no way I win from here. And at this point, they could just think I'm on Blue Moon. I guess we could put this to hand, put this on the bottom, put this into exile. It doesn't tell them that we're Prowess yet. Can kind of sell the story a little bit more. Blue-green merfolk, okay. This card's very cool. Alright, we're dead. Like, if I start Manamorphosing, I feel like that gives away what we're on. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I want the Abrades at least. And I believe I also want the Vapor Snag. I'm unsure about Kozilek's return, because any Lord usually gets it out of range. I guess that's not necessarily true, because they need 2 Lords, right? Because if I've only got 1 Lord in play, it gets to kill that Lord, and then all the other ones fall after it. So, I mean, it's probably just good. Again, this is a matchup where it feels like my things won't be dying very often. But my flyers are probably better than my ground things. Maybe this is a matchup where I don't need mutagenic growth as aggressively because it's only for pushing damage as opposed to saving it from something. I think I could probably board down another threat. Let's board down one of the non-haste things. I guess this puts minus counters on indestructible creatures, so maybe Swift Spear is actually just worse. I don't want to cut another thread. I'm already cutting 2. Maybe I cut Iteration, just because these games aren't going very long. They're not really in the camp of multi for winning, so I don't need to, like, serve back with my own. Could give this a go. Yeah, I don't think I want Spell Pierce. Let's go first. Keep. Lots of real good interaction. I can shock Steam Vents on one, so if there's not something I have to bolt, I can opt. Trying to find a threat. Tide Shaper. That's literally just a 1/1. As long as the component controls an island, of course. So it's 1 mana 2/2. I think I still want to opt here. Next turn I can Manamorphose and still just make a red. Yeah. There's the threat. There's another threat. So now I get to go Swift Spear, attack, and there's just no way they block, right? If after they don't block, I think I will still just bolt face. Or still just bolt the Tide Shaper. Just get their stuff dead. Yield to this. They want to, like, force this for whatever stupid reason. Sure. Sure. So does protecting this creature mean something? Maybe they're just short on creatures. They just need to push damage with the ones they've got. Gotta dismember. Okay. Yeah. Maybe they don't have a lot of creatures. So next turn I'll, I guess, start on Manamorphose. They're not just dead next turn, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Puts you to 3. Marrow Regery, yep. Found a land. So I'm thinking I want to just use a Sprite Dragon here. So if I Sprite Dragon here, Lava Dart, going to face, that puts you to 10, then it's an attack for 6, puts you to 4, and then either Sprite Dragon next turn is lethal. If they go Lord on their turn, they're attacking for 5 plus 4 is 9. I guess they could technically go 3 lords. No, they can't because they've only got 2 cards in hand. I think I want to put 2 lethal threats in play, which would have me casting Sprite Dragon now. This way, like, a single Trickster doesn't just mess me up. And then is it worth it to just go after the Marrow Reejerey? That still has me attacking for 6, putting them to 6. Which still has either threat being lethal next turn with Manamorphose and Lava Dart again. So maybe I do actually want to just kill this Reejerey. Right? It is still lethal, right? I guess short of a Spell Pierce. Because we would kill this, attack for 6, put you to 6. Let's say they get rid of one thing. We get to Manamorphose up to 4. And then Dart just wins. Or still wins. So yeah, let's just kill their stuff. I mean, this could still just be very wrong, though. Is it? Let's just say we just go to face. So it's attack for 6. Hit you for 2 with a Dart. Hits for 8, puts you to 4. Is that safer? I think it's probably just safer because since both things are still lethal next turn, I think I still like just killing a creature as long as it doesn't change my clock. What happened and why am I playing Blitz? Giving it a shot. Trying to understand the enemy. Abundant Harvest. Alright, well, that just draws a creature. Alright, so they're dead, right? Liliana the Veil is rolling in her classroom. Fair enough. Alright, so they do just die here, though. We get to Manamorphose and Dart twice. That also makes it easy. We'll just make red. They're just really, really dead. Nice. So, still Merfolk. Don't think I'm making any changes. I mean, I guess Mutagenic Growth isn't fantastic, but neither are any of these other sideboard cards. I guess, like, I could bring in maybe another threat for another copy Mutagenic Growth, but I think 2 is probably as low as I'm willing to go on it. Wait a second, Murktide Regent? Yeah, we're trying it out. There are 2 in the main deck. It's just a harder to kill threat, and it's very often huge. Doesn't get fatal pushed. It's another reason why Stormwing is good, is that it doesn't get fatal pushed. Well, this is a hand. I'm going to hope that we can find the land. They've mulliganed to 5. That's going to make it easier. One of the reasons you're looking at Blue Red Delver. Yeah, I've got a buddy who built Blue Red Delver, and they've been having a good time with it. Named Merfolk. Surprise, surprise. Speaker. Yep. We did not find the land yet. This is going to be one of our only good opportunities to just Lava Dart this thing. And I'm feeling like I probably just should over getting Soulscar into play. Because they're on so few cards. If I can kill actual anything, I probably just should. This is as long as you control a Merfolk or an island. So if they just play an island, this doesn't work out for me. Let's just kill this while Dart can. and then hope to find the land soon. They're missing a land. Wow. And we found it too. How lucky. I guess I'm just gonna cast Stormwing. They can't even spell pierce us. Make blue red. Found another land? Jeez. Maybe the secret to prowess is just drawing hot. Also, the deck's just good. More threats on top. Honestly, I'm kind of in for the Sprite Dragon, but less so on the Soul Scar. We've already got a Soul Scar that we're not really seeing, not really wanting to play. They're so far behind that maybe it just doesn't matter. I guess like something they could easily have is Dismember, so having a reliable heavy hitting threat after it would make sense. Let's keep the Sprite, bottom the Soul Scar. Waiting for the chance to test Cauldra and Stoneblade. I swear I think that card is wrong, but too many people are playing it, doing medium, so you have to try. Yeah, I think Cauldra is also probably wrong. Batterskull is, I think, Aeon's better because it's reasonably castable, assuming Stoneforge dies, but Cauldra at 7 mana is so much. Alright. Well, I guess I am trying to lean on Stormwing now. Or sorry, the Sprite Dragon. I did not bring in Artifact Hate, but perhaps I should moving forward. Given that I don't actually have it, I think I'm actually just gonna Vapor Snag now, because this is getting countered. People are cutting swords? Okay, that seems wrong. They had another Dismember. Alright, well, we don't actually have a good threat anymore. We need another Sprite Dragon. We need another Stormwing. We could even draw our really big thing. Oh, I did bring in the Graveyard Hate, though the Hate. What am I talking about? Alright, so I'm honestly thinking I should probably just put other Braid into my hand, because I've got another land in hand. So we'll put a Braid into hand. Put one of them on the bottom, land, and we'll exile this. And then because I can only play it until end of turn, I'll do it now. Kill that. Yeah, I brought in the Abrades, but I did not bring in the Shattering Spree. I guess they're trying to find Force. They already have a blue card. Peter, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Alright, so our Soul Scar is online next turn, which is good. They've paid 8 life across Dismembers. Vial, right on time. Soul Scar. I guess I have no reason to hold the land. I guess I'll sacrifice Islet End Step. I could sack it now in an attempt to, I guess, find another 1-drop. I don't think I'm going to Abrade the Vial. Well, maybe I should because I've already got the Kozilek's Return to deal with any creatures that I could be worried about. Let's just sack this, see what happens. Mutagenic Growth, sure. Soul Scar again. So, I mean, I guess the Abrade is free, especially because I've got Kozilek's Return for the first few things. Like, even if they draw their 3/4, we get to put minus counters on it with the Soul Scar. Yeah, let's destroy an artifact here. Get my Prowess trigger. Third copy of Dismember. Wow. I guess I could have, actually, no, it doesn't work. I was going to say I could Mutagenic Growth plus Lava Dart. That's, actually, it would have worked, wouldn't it have? Because it was a 2 toughness, 2 prowess triggers, and a mutagenic. So yeah, I actually could have saved it there, but I mean, it just like hardly felt like it was gonna matter. All right, so first go with Izzet Prowess, and we're already on the board with a 4/1. So I'm gonna do a quick deck tech / wrap up for purposes of the recording. So I'm testing Izzet Prowess mainly because, well, for 2 reasons. One is that I've got an event pretty soon where I'm thinking about playing Prowess, so I want to get in some reps, and also from the Jund player's perspective, I feel like one of the better ways to be an effective Inquisition and Thoughtseize caster, or just a Magic player in general, is to understand what the opponent is trying to do, so that way you can really target their more important pieces to be more effective against the deck. So I'm really just trying to understand how this deck ticks, and I feel like the best way to do that is to just play it and get some reps in. And the deck obviously felt very, very powerful. I think we drew about average, but Expressive Iteration was absolutely phenomenal. I don't think I was ever really like jammed in hand with a Stormwing or a Murktide that I just like could not get out of my hand by either casting it or ditching it somehow. So I mean, I feel like the clunkiness of the top end just really isn't that clunky. So I think this deck is really, really smooth, even after putting in a couple Murktides. Out of the sideboard, the Abrades obviously were excellent. The Spell Pierces were good. I'm not sure what the Soul Guide Lanterns are there for. Obviously, it's the only real graveyard hate that we've got in the deck. But I mean, with the Prowess having such a good aggro plan, I'm not even certain that Grave Hate is a necessity, given that a lot of the times we can just go under or through the graveyard decks like Dredge. That said, maybe it's just a necessary evil in case we find something like the Living End Cascade deck. So who knows? Maybe the Lanterns got there. And again, I'm by no means a voice with any amount of prowess, pun intended, with this deck. But I mean, it just doesn't seem super flashy to me right now. Obviously, Blood Moon seems pretty flashy. Like, I can tell where that would be good. Kozilek's Return excellent for killing the Devoid creatures, so I can tell where that would be good. And then I can tell where Shattering Sphere would be good too, especially now with all the various Urza Saga decks being a thing. But yeah, I think I can basically see where all these cards would come in. I guess Soul Guide Lantern is the one that I'm not sure of, only because of the reason of if the opponent is a devoted graveyard deck, I think we'll be able to pretty manageably just push through it anyway. So those are my thoughts on the sideboard, and that's gonna be it for this recording. If you're watching here on YouTube, I want to thank you very much for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe for more great free content. At least I hope that it's great. And until next time, have you a good one. And I can't say Jund them out. What should I say? Prowess them out? It doesn't have the same ring to it, but we'll go with that. Have a good one.